Windows Update. What is Windows Update? Why is it important to update your system? Windows Update is the way you get system and software updates for Windows and some Microsoft software if that's enabled. These updates can contain critical fixes for security vulnerabilities in Windows and the software libraries it uses. Windows Update does not update non-Microsoft applications. It can update device drivers, but it is usually recommended to use the device drivers from the device manufacturer instead of the ones from Microsoft. For printers and such, the ones from Microsoft generally work okay, but sometimes options in the printer are not enabled by Microsoft's drivers, whereas the manufacturer's drivers enable those options. To access Windows Update, open the Start menu by hitting the Windows key on your keyboard. And that'll open the Start menu. Somewhere on your Start menu, you're going to see a little gear icon that says Settings. Just click that, and it'll open the Settings window. On the left-hand side, you've got a pane that has different categories of settings: system, Bluetooth and devices, network, personalization, apps, accounts, all that stuff. Down at the very bottom is Windows Update. If you click Windows Update, it goes to the Windows Update window. This system is up to date because I updated it this morning. To check for updates, over here on the right hand side, you can see it says check for updates. Click that button and it will contact Microsoft over the internet, and if there's updates available, which in this case there are, updates will show up. Windows will automatically check for updates and recommend their download and installation when available. If there are, like it just did, it'll tell you when there's updates. There's more options for updates underneath. Pause updates. You can pause updates. If you click this little arrow over on the right hand side, you can see it says pause for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 weeks. If for some reason you're going out of town and you'd rather be there when updates happen, you can pause updates for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. Update history. If you click the update history, it will take you into different updates that have been applied to your system. This one's up to date, so we've got a bunch of other updates. We've got feature updates, and I'll get into the types of updates in just a minute. But this one has feature updates 1, which is the one that I did this morning, quality updates, and next to most updates, you'll see what's called a KB number. That's right here. That is a number that Microsoft uses to keep track of updates and associated vulnerabilities, user issues, or bugs from that update. There are many types of updates. We will address the common ones usually seen in Windows Update. All this information was taken from Microsoft's website. There's updates and critical updates. All right, those are widely released fixes for specific problems that address something that's critical but not really security related, usually a bug. A definition update. These are widely released and frequent software updates that contain additions to a product's definition database, and these are often used to detect objects that have specific attributes such as malicious code, phishing websites, junk email, etc. Driver updates. A driver is software that controls the input and output of a device. If you're having problems with the device, updating the driver's software for it That can sometimes help. Feature packs. These are new product functionalities that are first distributed outside a regular product release, and they're doing testing, so these are probably going to be included in the next full product release, but this is kind of like a beta test for them. Service packs. Tested cumulative sets of all hot fixes, security updates, critical updates, regular updates. It's basically a big package of updates. But they may contain additional fixes for problems that are found internally at Microsoft since the release of the product. Service packs can also contain a limited number of customer requested design changes and or features. Security updates. These are widely released fixes for a product-specific security-related vulnerability. Security vulnerabilities are rated by their severity. The severity rating is indicated in the Microsoft Security Bulletin as critical, important, moderate, or low. I highly recommend getting all security updates. If you want to prevent your system from getting hacked or spyware or malware, ransomware, get these updates. Update roll-ups. Tested cumulative sets of hot fixes, security updates, critical updates. It's basically like another update service pack. Okay, installing updates. Clicking install now. Back to the Windows Update screen. If there are updates available. In this case, I'm not. This blue button will say install now. If you install, it's going to start the installation process, and that'll all be indicated right up here above more options. It'll say which update is downloading, and then after it's downloading, it'll say whether or not it's installing, or if there's an error for some reason, it'll say if there's an error with it. If there's an error, you can usually retry it, but sometimes the error is due to it being dependent on another update that's waiting on you to restart your system. And that's usually the next step. After the updates are installed, over here this check for updates button is going to say restart now. You can choose to restart then. You can postpone it for a little while, but it's better off just to restart it right away. It normally only takes a couple minutes on a newer computer. Restart it, get the updates configured, and after that your system should work a little better and may have a couple new features from Microsoft. Under more options, advanced options, these are advanced options that let you receive updates for other Microsoft products like Microsoft Office, Outlook, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. Get me up to date. This is where you can tell it restart as soon as possible to finish updating. If you turn this on and you're doing something and it installs updates in the background, it's going to just restart when you're in the middle of typing in your Word document. I normally don't check that. Download updates over metered connections. Notify me when a restart is required to finish updating. Show notification on your device. Show notification when your device requires a restart to finish updating. Let's turn that on. Active hours. This is where you can set, if you're normally using your computer from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can say do not restart during these hours. Currently this time's from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. Normally it's set to automatically. You can change that to manually and set these hours by yourself. If you click on the hours, it will bring up a window that you can use the mouse to scroll through. This one said 7 a.m. I'm going to change that to 8 a.m. Once you select the time that you want, down here there's a little checkbox. Or you can cancel out of this and not change the time at all. I'm going to change the time. There we go. 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Back up here at active hours, it says currently 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So during that time, that 11 hours, Windows will not automatically restart. After 9 p.m., if it needs to restart, it'll restart unless I'm using it. Additional options. There are optional updates. Right now, there are no optional updates available. Delivery optimization. You can set bandwidth limits. Recovery. This is where you can do things like reset your PC, go back, restart now. Those are kind of just more settings that are available through the Windows Update and Advanced Options part. Restart apps. This is if you restart and sign back in, it'll automatically restart apps. Facial recognition, fingerprint recognition. Those aren't available because this is not a laptop. You can also click Get Help, and it'll take you to a web page to get help and more information about this. Normally, don't need to do that. Windows Insider program. That's mainly for developers and getting like beta features and things like that. This is not logged in and to the Windows Insider program. Well, that's been some basic info about Windows Update. There's a lot more information available on the internet, so check it out if you want to learn some more. Once again, thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something.